Hello, so welcome to Explore with Kids. So this video basically just going to go through the different types of mods that we've done, how I've actually set up the van. So if you've seen our last video, we actually did the handover process with Crusader and the van itself. We said we're going to do this video ages ago, so we're actually doing it now. So we've had a bit more time with the van, so it gives us a bit more of an indication as to what's working, what's not working, and how's it all flowing.
Yeah, it's hard to personalise your van when you only spend a day or a night here or there in it. So we've spent a little bit longer in the van doing a couple of bigger trips, living in it, and it's helped with a few more mods. Yeah,
so for you that don't know, we're actually on our, or if you've been following our social pages, we're actually on a trip around Australia. So it's a 3-month trip that we're going on. We've taken the Crusader along, and we've got a new tow vehicle, so we'll probably do another video on that. But eventually we're living in it now full time, so we've got a great idea. Even from our last trip over Christmas, we got a great understanding of the van. But now living in the van, we totally know what's going on, so we think.
Well,
yeah.
What works for us anyway.
So what we'll do is we'll start off with the mods first. So first up, what have we done?
So we'll start with the things inside the van. So we put a curtain between the bathroom, kids' room and the main living area. So we just got that from Bunnings, put a curtain rod up, just went to an alterations place, and she just hemmed it at the length that we needed it. And that just puts a bit of separation. When the kids go to bed, we can still turn the lights on and do our work of an evening and of an early morning. With the time differences.
Yes, that's pretty easy, simple mod to do. So it's pretty cheap and effective as well, just to put that curtain up, and it seems to have worked really well. What else is there?
So then in the bathroom, we've used fusion locks. All the reviews say they're the best product to use on vans like ours, and they haven't missed a beat. They've been up for all the trips we've done pretty much. That was one of the first things we put in. We put in a shower caddy, a toilet paper basket, and a shelf and a soap holder, all in the bathroom. They have not fallen off, they haven't moved, and they just hold everything nice and easy access. We've also put a water bottle holder just inside the caravan door.
So the reason we did that is what we found initially was when everyone came in, the kids would just dump everything on basically on the bench table, and it just kept clogging it up, and it just felt so messy, and we're always carrying water bottles around, so we just had to find a solution for things. We like to have homes for things, and basically the shower caddy, the fusion lock thing, it was actually a shelf for the shower, isn't it?
Yeah, basket, yeah.
That kind of fit perfectly near the door there, and the kids basically know when they come in, that's where their water bottles go. So,
and it just helps them when they come in, they're like, oh, I want a drink. It's like, your water bottle's right there. So.
Yeah, it's the same thing in the bathroom. We actually put another shelf there because there's not really a lot of space to put your toothbrush or put things down every day.
There's no space.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's no space. So the bench is quite small. There's nowhere to put anything down. So that little shelf is just there, and it's handy to put toothbrushes and brushes, whatever you're using, just to rest it. And same as the toilet shelf. Like, you could put them in the underneath cabinet, but then you kind of lose that space.
And it's light too. So toilet paper rolls are really light. Keep them up out of the way, and then you keep your actual pantry spaces lower to the ground, heavier things in those.
Yeah, so that was something there, and the reason we chose the fusion lock is we actually put it on the composite surface, so it's not on the actual laminate. We have seen on Facebook people that put it on the laminate, it's like it starts to peel away. So haven't been game enough to pull the fusion's lock off the composite yet to see whether there's any damage, but probably they're just going to be there permanently anyway, so it's not really going to matter.
Other things that we've done, we've put command hooks everywhere. We mentioned this in one of the previous videos. We tried a couple of different brands, but the 3M hooks seem to be the best. So we've got them in the kids' bunks. They've got their own hooks for their hats and bits and pieces. They've got them in the washing machine cupboard for peg bags. We've got them up for their towels. We've got them at the front of the van for hats. Basically, we've just put hooks on a spare surface, and they're pretty much all the time full.
Yeah, so they're really good just hanging places just to hang stuff like jackets and so forth, because once again, there's not really a lot of space around just to put things, and when you start putting things on lounges and tables and beds, it just starts to look really messy, doesn't it?
And it's such a small space. If everything has a home, it just feels a lot bigger when there's not mess around.
So have you done the kids' areas, like with their clothes and stuff?
So the kids' clothes, we basically did a big shop at Ikea. They each got to choose a matching but not matching bedspread. Then their clothes, they got to pick a colour, and we've just got 2 baskets each. And I've just basically done, for this trip, I've done 7 sets of clothing plus 2 sets of warm. It's been enough so far. We'll see. Hopefully the weather does get a bit warmer for us. But they've just colour coded, and so when it's washing time, they just bring them out. We reload them back in, and they fit really nicely into the bottom cupboards underneath our washing machine. So they get 2 each for their clothes, and then a combined one for their underwear, all that sort of thing. They also get a small plastic container. How big were those containers we got from Bunnings? 10 litre?
Yeah, 10 or 5, maybe even 5 litre containers.
And they got one of those each for toys to bring with them on this trip. They got to bring 2 books and some schoolwork. And then we've got our communal family games bag. Yeah,
so those bags are just like the Austrail canvas type bags.
So good.
Yeah, we the clear top one. So we've had them with our camper trailer and in the canopy as well that we use, and they kind of fit in nicely. And we just got a whole bunch of those as well to use.
So they fit the schoolwork in them, and then we've got another one for board games, all the family games, our hiking shoes, our wet shoes.
Yeah.
We use them a lot. You've got them in the tunnel boot for stuff as well.
Yeah, just to group everything together, like your toiletries and so forth there. So yeah, they're pretty handy, and because they're clear, you actually can see
what's in them,
what's actually inside of them. Yeah.
That's pretty much the kids area. Floor mats, one of the first things. I hate grit under my feet. I'll be the first to tell you that. So one of the first things I did was source some mats. I really struggled to find a carpet runner that fits our van, but I saw someone else say something about a bath mat, and not just like a shower floor mat, a bath mat. And so I went into Pillow Talk, and lo and behold, they had bath mats and then they had shower mats, and so I've just got a combination of those along the floor, just 3 different ones, one for the kids area, one for the main kitchen area, and then one for the end of our bed, which has been and I can just throw them in the washing machine because they're not carpet, they're not rugs, they literally are bath and shower mats, so they just go straight into the washing machine when they're too dirty.
Yeah.
And that solved the grit under feet problem.
Yeah. So you still have to shake them out like anything, but overall they've been great there. Yeah.
In terms of other things, the linen, we got all of our linen, like our towels, we got a set from Ikea. Our bed linen was just an eBay job. I found some that I liked. That's pretty much it.
Can't think of anything else
for that living type modifications that we've done.
Yeah. All right, cool. What about kitchen? I kind of saw the kitchen stuff. I just saw it get put into the trolley. So
in the kitchen, I had previously a lot of Tupperware that I've just repurposed and used in the van. So they fit really nicely into the width of the cupboard. So rices, pastas, flours, onions, cereal, they've all just fit really nicely into those caddies. We did a Kmart run as well to get different baskets and different shelving. I wasn't completely happy with the shelf extension, so the wire dividers that give you more height in your shelves. I wasn't completely happy with how they worked. I've used one, but the other one didn't make it into the van. And then just an odd...
Why is that though? They're just a bit cumbersome, or they're just...
Yeah, because they're not height adjustable, if it fits in our kitchen cupboards, but down in the clothes cupboards, it's just the wrong height. You can't adjust their height up and down. Their width is fine. You can change that really well and get it to fit. but then your height, it's either too short at the top or too big at the bottom. I just couldn't make it work with baskets and storage options to sit on those shelves.
Because I think the other thing you found was the little leg that when you slide in and out, you can't actually put that in the middle. It kind of slides with it and just got in the way of everything.
And because it's got 3 legs on it, it's not one big span. That third leg was either, again, too long or too short to get baskets in and around it neatly. So I managed to fit it, some Tupperware fits really nicely under it in our pantry. And then that gives us a space on top of it for chips and lighter things. But yeah, I only used 1. I bought 4, so 3 went back.
Yeah, cool. And then how'd you do the bathroom? What did you use in the bathroom?
The bathroom, I just got a set of clear Perspex. I don't know what they are, shower caddy / bathroom accessories. I think they were called. They're from Kmart. And then first aid was 1, hair was 1, toothbrushes, and then like nail clippers, all that type of what are they called? Cotton buds. Just keeps them nice and neat in their own little section. And then another one down the bottom, Ben's got a section, I've got a section, and then there's a sunscreen type section in the bottom.
I think pretty much all we did was we got double-sided Velcro tape, stuck them on the bottom, and just stuck it to the shelving or inside the cupboard itself.
It just stops things moving around when you're travelling. I think that's probably one of the neatest solutions in the caravan. Nothing moves in there and everything has a place. I pull out a packet of Band-Aids and it goes straight back in. So
that's if you can get the kids to put things back where they're supposed to.
Yeah, they are learning. They are getting better at it.
That's a different story. So is there anything else we've got?
Just the key hooks. We put little hooks on. I'm not sure if we mentioned that in the last video. And we've colour-coded the keys. So now the kids know that the blue's water and the purple's the tunnel boots and the green's the picnic table. We sort of colour-coded them for what they meant. And they're all in order, so we know if the kids are taking a key to open something, it goes straight back there. Yeah.
It's just really about habits, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just trying to get people into a habit of getting used to things as well. So.
And if it has a home, if you take it from that home, you put it back in that home. Yeah. It just helps keep things ordered and organised.
Yeah, all right.
There are other mods that we've done inside. Do you want to talk about those? Some of them?
Yeah, so some of the other mods that we've had done is we actually put another PowerPoint down underneath the lounge seating there, just to makes it easy to charge a laptop so you don't have this cable flicking up near the light. But we've actually got the light changed with a Sirocco fan as well. So the reason we did that was there just wasn't enough airflow. The 2 bedhead fans, they're great for when you're sleeping and on yourself, but as far as that, there's no other actual airflow that you could move. The air conditioning itself also is very limited into how you can tilt the angles of the blade. So what happens is putting that Sirocco fan there, it's just been really nice. So you're in the kitchen or you're sitting on the lounge, you've actually got a little bit of a breeze flowing around. So hence the other reason for putting a PowerPoint down in the base, so you're not actually getting tangled with electrical cords.
Because on our Christmas trip we had one day that was so hot that we wanted to have the air conditioner on, but it was just didn't feel like it was working. Yeah. And so that fan really helps just drop that cold air down and circulate it a bit better. And pushes it down the back into the kids area too. Yeah, so put that in there. Other thing is the bed heads originally came with USB sockets. Those lights were extremely bright and plus they were just USB. But these days now we've got stuff that's USB-C and it's just easier. So what we've done is we've also had those replaced with just cigarette sockets, and then we've gone and bought some USB-C, USB 12-volt to USB-C
cigarette socket adapters. So that just makes it easier. So now as opposed to getting 2, you actually can get 3, and it actually puts out a higher power to charge things a lot quicker. So we just found that was a bit more of a simpler solution for us. To just help charge things. We've got a lot of devices and stuff, and because we work from the van and on the road as well, we're just always needing to charge stuff to do that. What other things we've done? Okay, so we've actually got midgie mesh. So on the actual fly screen doors, that we're going to call it?
Yep, the front door.
It's actually just a steel security type mesh, but it's actually quite large, the holes. So once again, we're actually seeing a couple of people go and put midgie mesh behind there. So it actually is really easy to do, that one. There's actually a rubber channel that you can just straight away just slot the grommet to hold the midgie mesh in place. So that was on the front door, and then we've also done it inside the bathroom hatches. So once again, I'm not sure if they are midgie proof, but they just seem really large.
And we were getting bugs in.
Yeah. So what we did is, once again, same thing, put midgie mesh on top of that. That's pretty easy to do. Once again, you just pull it down and you can kind of put your grommet and stuff, or rubber stuff around there, and it kind of seals in nice. You do have to be aware that sometimes the fan, you can hear it kind of clicking if it's sucking and blowing up. But you got to make sure that's really tight, and then you don't get that noise. Other things are, we did put the midgie mesh on the fridge vents as well.
So it was almost between 3 trips. We did the front door, and then we went, oh no, they're still getting in, we'll do the bathroom. Oh no, they're still getting in, we'll do the fridge.
Yeah, so basically started with the easiest ones to the hardest ones. The fridge ones are also pretty easy. It's just a bit of a clip and a screw and they pop out, and we just hug the vents there with midgie mesh. We still think they're getting in somewhere, and I think possibly it could be coming in from a vent near the TV, because all the other vents are enclosed in a cupboard, but they're pretty sneaky, these little mosquitoes and midgie
And we don't
things.
leave the fly screens open for any period of time. They're always closed, and the only time they're open is to quickly shut the windows or the vents.
So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that one, but so far we're slowly trying to
eliminating.
Yeah, but the other ones are getting harder to do because all the vents are siliconed in, and I just don't want to be pulling things apart there.
Yeah.
Okay, other things we've done is Starlink. So we've actually gone and purchased a Starlink unit. So Starlink's been great. You know, we work on the road and we need to constantly go back to the office. So managed to get Starlink, and what I've done is just use like a telescopic pole, put a jockey wheel clamp on the back, and then the Starlink is a little pipe adapter thing or pipe joiner that you can get from Bunnings, and that literally just connects on top of the telescopic pole, and Starlink actually fits really nicely in there. The next thing is you got to get the cable back into the van. So I've actually gone through and drilled a hole in the bottom of the van and put like a waterproof grommet type RJ45 connector there, and just silicon that all in and Sikaflex it, and that just allows the cable to come through. And the router actually sits in the back underneath where the washing machine is. So there's a power point there, and it just all feeds through and connects through there. We're just all about trying to set it up easier and quicker and get to using things. It's working well. I have seen some other mods where people have permanently mounted them on the van, but in this particular case, even where we are now, if there's a little bit of trees, you do need to move this Starlink around to get proper signal. It's a great product. It works really well when you've got clear open skies, but if you've got little bits of obstructions, as they call it, or trees in the way, it kind of drops in and out. So.
Yeah, and depending on the caravan park, you don't get to pick and choose your site. That's been a real godsend that we can move ours around.
Yeah. Next with the TV, said before in previous years, it's a bit hard to navigate. So because we've got Starlink now, you got internet, what we've done is I've just hooked up an Apple TV to the back of it and just connected up to the Starlink Wi-Fi. So that's really worked really well. In most places, probably don't even need the aerial out anymore, and just use free-to-air streaming TV over the Apple. And it's actually really simple and easy to remove. So I'm pretty sure you can do it via Google or Chromecast or Amazon or whatever those ones you want to use. We use Apple devices here, so it just makes things a lot easier to share things to screen and just navigate things through. So that's been really good. What else is there?
I think that's about it for inside.
Yeah.
We haven't really...
Can't think of anything else in the inside. If we'll do, we'll bring it back up. So the barbecue, so I've actually got that extended as well, just to bring that out further. Like I mentioned before, the lid kind of hits that place, so now the base of the barbecue pulls out, extends longer, and it's got a bit of a swivel on there so you can adjust it and maneuver it. So that's worked really well, and that's just thanks to the guys on Facebook as well and the different forums of everyone collaborating together and sharing their ideas. So that's worked really well now, and being able to pull that barbecue out and use it more freely has been really good. Now, okay, so jockey wheel, we actually replaced that with a Boss jockey wheel. Originally we did go with the, I think it's I don't know if it's a Trailer Mate, the blue one, which is a hydraulic jack. But Crusader couldn't get that at the time, so in the end basically refunded us our money, and then I went and got a Boss jockey wheel. So it's one you just basically use your drill and it kind of spins up and spins down fairly easy. And on top of that, originally what we used to level the van was leveling ramps. And we just found those a bit of a pain, so we actually wanted airbags on the van, but airbags weren't, well, they were available, but it was really expensive to do. I thought I could get it done aftermarket, but it turns out that you need special plates where your springs go. So if you did want airbags later on in the future, just make sure you get the special top plate, and then you can go and easily switch out the springs with airbags, but we never had that done. So that's something to be aware of. So what I did is, instead of trying to get airbags aftermarket, which was going to be ridiculously expensive, I've actually found the Boss actually had stabilizer wheels, or legs. So these legs can actually lift, I think it's 1,800 kilos, and they're actually load bearing. So we've used them on a couple of sites, and they've been worked fairly well. And apparently you can also use these legs to jack up the van. Which I've kind of tried but haven't tried. I just didn't have enough of the stabilize or underneath packing to get the van up, so now I've got some blocks of wood to carry to actually jack the legs up. But once again, use the same drill bit as a jockey wheel. You go around and stabilize your legs, and you can also adjust the angle. And
our son is learning, because we're on the road full time now, he knows that that's his job, to use the bubble spirit level on the front of the caravan, what's it called, the chassis bar, and he lines it up and he knows which legs have got to go up and down to do which things with the bubble. So it's actually a good way to get the kids involved in setting up camp as well.
So yeah, real positives to that. Yeah, so one, it stabilizes it. Two, you actually can jack your van off it, and two, it actually levels it out. So I'll let you know how it goes. We haven't been on a lot of really uneven sites, but just on sites where it's slightly uneven, it's been perfect.
It's worked.
And it's worked really well.
And it doesn't justify putting in airbags. The cost of putting in the stabilizer legs versus the airbags, it hasn't warranted it, and we're really happy with the stabilizers.
Because overall the van rides well. Like, it pulls well, it rides well, which I thought airbags might help, but I don't think it actually needs it at this particular stage. So because the other thing is with airbags, you have to turn on the compressor, wait for the compressor to come on, and then kind of let air in, let air out. So, much of a muchness now. But so far, really enjoy the Boss stabilizer legs. But once again, not affiliated with any of these companies that we're mentioning in these videos. Basically all these products we've just purchased out of our own product based on our own market research and experience. But what else we got? Jerry cans. So we've actually put jerry cans on top of the, I don't know what you call it, the arm bar or rear bar. That was a pretty simple process. So ideally I wanted to mount it onto the rear bar using U-bolts, but I just couldn't make that work. For one, it was obstructing lights because the lights seem a lot lower, but this actually works really well and supports a lot of the weight. The only downside to that is that there's like 20 something kilos there, and trying to lift it up off that height can be a little bit painful at times. So sometimes I'll have to ask Kel to just kind of give me a little bit of a nudge up, or I need to go basically more to the gym and pump up some more weight. But it is a little bit, because of its height and the weight there, it's like you're lifting a kettlebell, 20 kilo kettlebell off the ground.
From shoulders and then higher.
Yeah, so and we're not short either, so we're like 5'10", so 5'11", so when you try and pull that up, it is still quite a bit difficult there. But overall, it's working really well. We haven't, not that we use it all the time, we've maybe used it once or twice so far on the trip, but it's just there as a backup if we need it to. Solar panels. So, on the chassis, they actually give you a solar input, which is an Anderson plug, but that wasn't covered or protected in any way. So you can go to J-Car and actually get, I forget what it's called, it's like a panel mount enclosure or Anderson plug, and that basically you just pull off the old Anderson plug, put that one on, and it covers it, and now it's got some type of protection through the weather. It just seemed odd to have this Anderson exposed to the elements, especially down near the bottom.
Yeah.
Exposed to like water and everything and stuff getting in there, so actually protected that as well. We actually also had another solar panel fitted on the roof, so I think now we've got 350 plus another 175. What's that? Maps is kind of 425 of solar on the roof. Is that enough? It's borderline, especially in cloudy weather. It's kind of enough. It'd be nicer to have one more solar panel on the roof, but at the moment there's no more real estate on there, so there's no way. I can't see another way to put another panel up there, so it's kind of, this is where we're at and this is where we're stuck. We do have the additional solar power input with the blanket, so I've been kind of using that as a backup, and I've probably used it once to put it in just to give us an extra, but overall it's doing its job. Well, like more, yeah, can I do more? I can't do any more, so basically just got to live with it. We've also put a Issy bike rack on the front, so basically this bike rack allows you to flip it and forward and just get things out of the way, so it's a great bike rack. There was a little bit of, not modifications, but the way the gas bottles are mounted, you almost have to raise those up a little bit just to fit the drawbar mount that comes with it, or you've got to get something custom fabricated. So we actually put that on just before Christmas, and we were just scrambling to get things ready, so we didn't have enough time to get things custom fabricated, but the way the ones they've got from factory actually works fairly well, and it's pretty stable. It's just that you can't use the original stone guard properly. You have to do a bit of maneuvering there to get everything to kind of fit, because it is quite tight up the front. But overall the Issy bike rack's been great, and just allows the flexibility to be on the caravan and move it to the car when you're using it or not using it, or when you kind of in different situations. So it's a great rack that we highly recommend that there.
And the bonus is it fits on your tow vehicle if you wanted to just take your...
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you listening? No, she doesn't listen. See, she doesn't listen to me at all. But anyway.
I wasn't listening. Sorry.
But yeah, so that's the Issy bike rack that we've got on the front of the van. So other things we've done is we've actually put a washing line between the two on the awning. That's just a stainless steel wire. Can't take credit for that. That's just due to guys like Tripping a Van and had to kind of set the bar before everyone else. There's plenty of videos on that, how to do that, but that works really well to just put that there, because it's quite handy, isn't it?
It is handy. It's towels and swimmers after beach swims or whatever, they just stay out there. I can fit almost a full load of washing out of my machine on that one line.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Just simple and easy, and it just doesn't get in the way. So it's a good modification if you're doing relatively cheap as well to do that. What else we got? We've got lots of notes here, so that's why we're looking down, looking at the iPad.
The awning bracket.
Awning bracket. I'm not sure if it's necessary or not, but it's quite a big awning, so I just wanted that supported. So we've actually gone and got fitted an awning bracket there as well, just to stop it from, when you're travelling, the thing bouncing up and down, so just a bit more of a support there. I don't know whether you need it or not, but I thought it was a good idea, so we've got that put on there as well.
We also, external lights, bugs, yes, that was a problem.
Yeah, so the ones from Crusader are bright white. So as
with
you know,
no option to go amber.
Well, I don't know if there was an option. We just didn't know it was available or not.
Yeah.
To get, like when we had canopies and stuff, you got the option to go between white, warm, and orange, but we just didn't think about it at the time, or didn't realise that was an option. It may be an option, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But we've actually found some yellow tape or something. I don't know what it is.
Reflector tape or something?
Some yellow reflective tape, and we've actually just stuck that underneath the white, on top of the white light there, and that seems to have worked really well.
It's almost like an indicator repair tape, sort of that kind of colour. Yeah,
and just basically stuck that underneath there, and it's kind of turned them into the orange lights that we wanted. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's worked really well. So next thing we're going to talk about is the basically the alarm or security systems that we've got in place here. So we actually put in a product called Ajax. Now, full disclaimer here, this particular product, we do security products as part of our business, and this particular product came across my desk and I thought, wow, it's a great product here. It's wireless. Can we actually use this in the caravan? So I've kind of been the test dummy here with this particular product, and we've actually put it in. So it's just allowed the caravan to be fully secure, or whatever you want to call it. So we've got reed switches on the doors. We've got a PIR like in the dining kitchen area, and that just allows you to arm the caravan when you're not there, and especially at home you're able to just permanently arm the caravan. So there's a lot of expensive stuff in your caravans, like your generators, and you know, you got laptops and cameras and all that type of stuff in there. So when you're away, I guess you just want to have that peace of mind, because the great thing about this is, you know, once you connect it up to the internet, you actually can arm and disarm it from your phone. You get notified when an event happens, or if a door's open, and even when you're at roadside stops, you can basically do like a perimeter mode.
Yeah.
And then basically just arm the doors and all the hatches and stuff. So if someone does try to break in, the little siren will go off.
Heck of a noise.
Heck of a noise, and let you know. So at the moment we're testing this particular product, and it's working quite well. So we'll continue testing it and see how we go with that. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else we've done? What else have we done?
The water measurer.
So with the water, you know, with the Red Arc, you get these gauges and stuff, and you're not quite sure where water levels are at. So we actually seen online something called, I think it's Topogy, which is a water measuring sensor. So we had that installed, and basically from your Bluetooth app, you can actually see and monitor actually how much water is actually being used. So that's been pretty handy. Once again, we kind of just put that in before we came. So we're just testing that and seeing how good it is, because, you know, even though they say you got 95 litre tanks, you can't draw everything out of those tanks. So having this allows us to actually monitor what type of usage we've got and how much water is actually left in those tanks.
And I was trying to work out as well the washing machine, how many litres of water that used. So we were trying to measure it with buckets on the grey water as it was coming out. But then when we put this, what's it called, Topogy in, it actually gave us a bit more of an accurate flow rate to see how much water the washing machine was using. And it was about 10 to 15 litres less using the Topogy, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think we were trying to gauge is about 20 litres, so still a fair bit for a little washing machine.
But at least now we know, because I had no idea before.
Yeah, and then when you're out on the road and you're free camping, you just don't quite know how much water you've got left. So yeah, that's been really good. What else have we done? The Velcro straps. Okay. Yeah,
so when we're travelling, we've heard that shower heads can fall off and do damage in your showers. We didn't have a real solution for that, but then we found a Velcro, two-sided Velcro tape that just wraps around, that you can use over and over again. So we just fit that now between the shower head and the shower rail, and that just holds that, and it hasn't missed a beat. We also use it on the awning, just outside around the awning arms, so that if any of the screws happen to fall off, if we haven't tightened them corrugations, at least the awning's not going to come apart.
It's kind of like a safety backup.
Yeah.
That's what we think is going to happen anyway. So so far it seems to kind of work really well, but it's just
kind of like a reusable cable tie in a way. You can just put it on and then take it off as you need it and store it and then put it back on. It's part of our safety checklist.
Yeah, so that's been real handy that we've done that. Oh, speaking of security, forgot to mention we also put in like a what do you call it? A GPS tracker.
Oh, yeah.
So there's basically the van's just being tracked. So it's probably not going to stop someone stealing your van, but at least then if someone does steal your van, you kind of know where it may be, and maybe point the authorities to where the van may be located if it does go missing. So, you know, with the alarm and the GPS and that type of thing, you know, it's peace of mind just knowing that your asset's safe, because, you know, they cost a fair bit of money, you know, to purchase the van. But even though you are insured, you know, with wait times and so forth,
the inconvenience of having your van stolen,
it's just a real hassle of, you know, these guys just coming and pinching your stuff when you've worked hard for it. So just a little bit of peace of mind. And saying that, I may do a video on the security stuff we've done, because I've also done hitch locks and all types of things as well, and other things we've looked at. So I may do another video just purely based on security aspect of the van, and yeah, just a little bit more detail than a basically an overview of what's going on. So what else was there? I don't know if you call it a mod or so, but with the new tow vehicle, the Ranger, we had issues with our blinkers. So what would happen is when blinkers would go on, it only put like 2 little LEDs out of the whole sequential thing, because it's a sequential indicator now, so it goes from left to right, left to right. But yeah, the Ranger for some reason just wouldn't push the blinkers all the way through. Whereas with the Hilux, that was fine. We had no issues whatsoever. So I don't know if it's related to certain cars, because I have seen some of you guys on Facebook forums and stuff saying that, you know, the sequential blinkers that Crusader are using now don't kind of work with all vehicles. So there was actually someone that came up with a solution. I forget his name, but if I remember his name, I'll try and put it, or I'll find that post again, I'll put it in the comment section and just give him credit to this, because, you know, he did the hard work of putting it. So I've just followed his instructions and bought little bits and pieces from JCar, and it's worked a treat. It's not perfect. There are little kind of issues which I'll probably have to try and nut out, but overall it seems to have worked really well. So we never had to put any of these load resistors or anything in. All those lights kind of just worked naturally. It was just the timing of how these indicators works in relation to the car that we've had issues. So call it a mod. I'm not sure if it's a mod, but it's a kind of a fix that, a mod that we've had to do to make it work anyway. So what else have we got? We've got so this is more to do with storage bags and how we store our hoses and electrical cords and silage hoses. So we did use like plastic containers and you know, those clear bags, but they just weren't quite right. So we actually bought some of these Navigator bags that they've got. So once again, not affiliated with this company at all, but they do make some good products, and that seems to be really well. They're really well made. They're really well thought of, and
we started with them in the car for the kids, to organise the kids' water bottles and sunglasses and things.
Yeah, well, that's how we came across. Yeah, and overall, their bags, and you know, they're clearly marked. So the kids, we're actually trying to get our kids more involved in the setup now. So you know, they go around, set up the legs, and pull out all the hoses and whatnot. So it's made it easier for them to put in, and it's got these little pockets where you can put these little, you know, all your accessories or so forth in there.
It's very well thought out.
Yeah, they're really good bags for that. The other mod we've done is we've put the anti-flap from Aussie Traveller and the curved roof rafters. So basically the anti-flap, the first time we took it out, it was windy, and it's just doesn't sound right, does it?
Yeah, no. It sounds like your van's being, well, the awning's being ripped off the van.
Yeah, so it didn't sound too healthy. Even though the awning was strapped, you can hear this thing flapping. So it was actually on our Christmas trip. We just realised we need to put these on. So yeah, we put the Aussie Traveller anti-flap kit. So the reason we chose those ones was because you can also attach privacy screens to it. Plus the awning was Aussie Traveller anyway, so we're a bit OCD, so I like to keep things a bit consistent and the same. So we thought, oh, that should work really well with the awning. And then the curved rafters just basically allow it to stop the water and stuff if it's rained. Just put a little bit of a curve in there and stop it pooling. Which
we had. We had a fair bit of rain on one of the short trips that we did it. Oh no, Christmas trip.
Yeah.
And we did notice that sag. So then we thought, okay, maybe the rafters do.
But it actually also stops the flapping as well. So
in the centre of the awning.
The issue is that they do everything weighs, and all the weights weigh up and takes up space. So we'll see how much we actually use it on this trip. But we've heard Western Australia can be windy, so you know we may be using it more than we think. We may not. We'll let you know whether they are worth it or not. But we've got them for this particular trip. So yeah.
And I think the other thing is that we forgot inside is we flipped the blinds around.
Oh, the blinds, yeah. So the way we got our blinds was the fly screen was on the bottom, and then the block out was on the top. So you couldn't actually just let a little bit of the window down or a little bit of light through. It was just either open, which wasn't quite right. And then we've seen a couple of guys say, oh, you just pop the frame out and then you just swap the rollers around. It's like you can move the rollers around. But when we first popped it up, it does take a little bit of persuasion to get it out. They are a bit stiff to initially pull out, but once they pop out, they're fairly easy. So
I'd say don't be aggressive, but don't go easy. It's a fine balance.
It's kind of just understanding and getting to know the window, so to speak. So kind of pull it and massage it and treat it nicely, and it does pop out. And what we actually found was we could just actually flip the window 180 degrees. 180?
Yep.
Yeah, 180. So, yeah, 180. And then just click it back in, and now we've got the privacy screen coming up from the bottom and then the fly screen from the top. So we can just have a little small...
Lets you have the light with the privacy.
Yeah,
and only on a few windows that seem to...
Yeah, so we've done it all in the kitchen and the dining and the main window on the bed. We've still left the kids' ones. I don't know whether we'll change that around. It's also partly the reason with 3 bunks trying to squish in between the bunks might be a bit of a headache to try and do. But we'll leave these ones for now, and it's been really great, and we've loved that change, haven't we? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to do the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so just to let that light in and give you that privacy, so that's been really good. So the only other mod that we know of that we're going to do, so we're going to name it now, is a Stone Stomper. Yeah. So we've previously used Stone Stomper on our camper trailer before, and that was a great product. Like, it literally just passes all the rocks and all the dirt, just pushes it way underneath the under the caravan or trailer or caravan, as we're going to do it now. So unfortunately couldn't get our tow vehicle in time, so we couldn't measure it because it's specific to tow vehicle, van versus tow vehicle and all that type of stuff. So we're actually getting it sent to a caravan park, and then we'll get that installed there. So yeah, it's been extraordinary, you know, trying to get everything ready in time. So that's the next mod that will happen, and we'll probably show you how that comes up a bit later on as well. Yeah. So yeah, okay, is there anything else you can think of?
I think that's the big ones that, I think that's it.
So anyway, we're on our big trip now, so if you want to follow us on our socials, you know, check that out and see what we get up to. But apart from that, I hope if this video has been informative, I'd love you to give us a thumbs up, and then while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so you get notified when we release another video. You know, we're always checking out new sites and playing around with different gear and equipment. So on that note, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.